My dear, the principle we will explore tonight is this. Your imagination is the very substance of reality, and by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you can bring into your physical experience that which you desire. Now I can sense the skepticism rising in some of you. You may be thinking, how can this be? How can simply imagining and feeling that my wish is fulfilled actually make it so? And to this I say your doubt is natural, for we have been conditioned from birth to believe in a world of hard facts of cause and effective limitation and scarcity. But I assure you, with every fiber of my being, that this condition is a veil that obscures the true nature of reality in your place. Within it. Tonight we will lift that veil together, and you will glimpse the infinite power that lies dormant within you, waiting to be awakened. Let us begin by considering the nature of your desires. Every wish, every dream, every aspiration that stirs your heart is not random or accidental. It is in fact a prophecy of what you can be. It is the voice of your larger self, your divine self, calling you to a greater expression of who you truly are when you feel a deep longing for something, be it love, success, abundance, or any other state of being. You are not reaching for something outside of yourself. You are, in truth, remembering who you really are. You are feeling the stirring of your true nature, seeking expression in your physical reality. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts your perspective from one of lack to one of abundance. You are not a beggar pleading with an external force to grant your wishes. None. You are a creator possessing within you the very substance of that which you. Now, armed with understanding, let us explore how to live as if your wishes already fulfilled. The key lies in what I call the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, if you persist in this assumption, it must become your reality. But what does it mean to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled? It means to immerse yourself so completely in the consciousness of already being or having what you desire that you feel it to be true right now. In this very moment, imagine, if you will, that you desire financial abundance. The conventional approach would be to work hard, save money, and hope that someday you will achieve your goal. But this approach keeps your desire always in the future, always just out of reach. Instead, I urge you to assume right now the feeling of being financially abundant. How would you feel if you were already living in the state of financial freedom? Would you feel relaxed, secure, generous? Would you walk differently? Speak differently and make as you contemplate these questions. Allow yourself to sink into that feeling. Let it permeate every cell of your being. Feel the relief, the joy, the sense of possibility that comes with true financial abundance. This, my friends, is what it means to live as if your wish is already fulfilled. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Wayne, isn't this just self-delusion? How can I feel abundant when my bank account tells? Different story. And to this I sigh. Your physical reality is but a shadow, a reflection of your state of consciousness. By changing your consciousness, you change the shadow. Remember, your outer world is nothing more than the manifestation of your inner assumptions. If you persist in the assumption of lack, you will continue to experience lack. But if you shift your assumption to one of abundance, the outer world has no choice but to reshape itself to match your new inner reality. This principle applies to every aspect of life, not just finances. You desire love. Then assume the feeling of being deeply, unconditionally loved. Are you seeking better health? Then live from the state of perfect well-being your heart yearns for. Assume the feeling of already possessing it. Then it be clear, this is not about pretending or forcing yourself to feel something. Don't believe. It's about tapping into the truth of who you really are, recognizing that the desire itself is evidence of your capacity to fulfill it. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not fabricating a false reality. You are aligning yourself with the reality that already exists in potential, waiting for you to step into it. Take it this way, just as an acorn contains within it the blueprint of a mighty oak tree, so too does your consciousness contain the blueprint of all that you desire to be, do, and have. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are simply allowing that blueprint to unfold in your experience. Now, I can hear some of you asking, but Wayne, how do I maintain this feeling when my current circumstances seem to contradict it? This, my friends, is where the real work begins. It requires discipline, persistence, and an unwavering faith in the power of your own consciousness. You must guard your assumptions vigilantly when doubts arise, and they will. You must not give them power by dwelling on them. Instead, gently but firmly return your attention to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Make it your constant companion, your default state of being. This doesn't mean you ignore your current circumstances or deny the challenges you faced. Rather, you view them through the lens of your new assumption. If you've assumed the feeling of financial abundance, then any lack you currently experience becomes merely a temporary condition already in the process of transforming to match your new state of consciousness. Remember, the outer world may take time to reflect your inner changes. There may be a time lag between your change in consciousness and its manifestation in your physical reality. This is what I call the interval of time. During this interval, you must hold fast to your new assumption, regardless of appearances. This is where many fail. They assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled for a day or a week, but when they don't see immediate results, they revert to their old patterns of thought and feeling. What I say to you, persist. Word is in this persistence that the magic happens. Think of a farmer who plants a seed. Does he dig up seed every day to check if it's? Of course not. He trusts in the unseen processes of nature, knowing that in due time his crop will appear. So too must you trust in the unseen processes of consciousness, knowing that your assumed state must by law manifest in your reality. Now let us delve deeper into the practice of living as if your wish is already fulfilled. It's not enough to simply think about your desire or to affirm it with words. You must feel it, experience it in your imagination with all the vividness of reality. Use all your senses. If you desire a new home, for example, don't just visualize it. Feel the texture of the doorknob as you open the front door. Smell the fresh paint with the scent of your favorite flowers in the garden. Hear the sound of your footsteps echoing in your spacious living room. Make it so real that when you open your eyes, you're almost surprised to find yourself in your current surroundings. This imaginal act is not mere fantasy. It is the literal creation of reality, for your imagination is not something separate from the world. It is the very substance of the world. The great William Blake understood this when he wrote what is now proved was once only imagine. Every invention, every work of art, every human achievement began first in someone's imagination. The Wright brothers imagined human flight before they built their first aeroplane. Martin Luther King Jr. imagined racial equality before he gave his famous "I have" dream speech. In the same way, you must imagine your desired reality before you can step into it. But imagination alone is not enough. You must couple it with feeling. It is the feeling that gives life to the imaginal act. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of fulfillment that comes with the realization of your desire. Let this feeling saturate your entire being. This feeling must not be relegated to a few minutes of meditation or visualization each day. It must become your constant state of being. You must live from this new assumption in every moment, in every interaction, in every decision you make. If you've assumed the feeling of being in a loving relationship, then interact with everyone from that state of being deeply loved. If you've assumed the feeling of being a successful entrepreneur, then make decisions and take actions from that state of confidence and abundance. This constant assumption may seem challenging at first, especially when your other world hasn't yet caught up with your inner change. But remember, your outer world is just a delayed reflection of your inner state. By consistently living from your new assumption, you ensure that your outer world must, by law, reorganize itself to match your inner reality. Now, some of you may be wondering about the role of action. This process. Surely you might think, I can't just sit back and imagine my way to success. Don't I need to take action? And to this I say, of course, action has its place, but it's not the action itself that creates your reality. It's the state from which the action. When, live as if your wish is already fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take the right action. None. These actions will not feel like hard work or struggle. They will feel naturally, even joyful, for you will be acting not from a place of lack or desperation, but from a place of fulfillment and abundance. Moreover, you find that doors open for you. Unexpected ways. Opportunities will present themselves that you couldn't have planned or anticipated, for when you align yourself with the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe itself. This, my friends, is the true meaning of faith. It's not about believing in something despite evidence to the contrary. It's about knowing with unshakable certainty that what you have assumed in consciousness must manifest. In reality, it's about trusting the law of your own being. But let me be clear. This is not about forcing or controlling external circumstances. It's about changing yourself from within. As you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you become a different person, and it is this new you that naturally attracts and creates the circumstances that match your new state of being. Think of it this way. If you want to tune your radio to a particular station, you don't run around trying to, the broadcast, you simply adjust your receiver to the right frequency. Your same way, by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're tuning yourself to the frequency of your desire. And just as surely as the radio picks up the station, its tune to your reality must reflect your inner tuning. Now I can sense that some of you are grappling with the implications of this teaching. You might be thinking, if my imagination creates reality, am I responsible for everything in my life, including the negative experiences? And I say, yes, but do not let knowledge burden you with guilt or regret. Instead, let it empower you. But if you have unknowingly created undesirable circumstances through your assumptions, you can just as easily create desirable ones. Your past does not determine your future. Your present assumption does. This understanding liberates you from victimhood. You are not at the mercy of external forces or circumstances. You are the operant power in your life. By changing your assumptions, you change your world. But remember, this is not about controlling others or manipulating external events. It's about controlling your own state of consciousness as you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You may find that people and circumstances naturally rearrange themselves to match your new state. But this is not your concern. The only task is to persist in your assumption. Now let us address another question that may be arising in your minds. What about other people? If I assume the feeling of being in a loving relationship, does that mean I'm controlling someone else? And to this I say, you are not controlling anyone. You are simply tuning yourself to the frequency of love. And in doing so, you become magnetic to its expression in your life. Remember, there are infinite versions of everyone. By assuming a new state, you're not changing them, you're shifting to a reality where they express the version that matches your assumption. This is not manipulation. It's a natural law of consciousness. As you live from the state of your wish fulfilled, you'll find that your relationships transform. People will respond to you differently because you're different. You're no longer approaching them from a place of need or lack, but from a place of fullness and completion. This principle applies to every area of your life. If you assume the feeling of being in perfect health, you'll naturally make choices that support that state. If you assume the feeling of being successful, after you'll find yourself inspired to write, and opportunities for publication will present themselves as a crucial point. Do not concern yourself with the how. Your job is not to figure out how your desire will manifest. Your job is simply to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to persist in that assumption, the house, not your concern. The moment you start worrying about how your desire come about, you fall back into the consciousness of lack. You're essentially saying, I don't really have it, so I need to figure out how to get it. This contradicts your assumption and negates its power. Instead, given the end, feel the joy, the relief, the satisfaction of already having what you desire. Let go of the need to control the process. Trust that the infinite intelligence of the universe, which beats your heart and grows your fingernails without your conscious input, is fully capable of bringing about the manifestation of your desire in ways you cannot even imagine. This trust, this letting go, is what many spiritual traditions call surrender. But it's not a passive surrender to external circumstances. It's a surrender to your own divine nature, to the creative power of your own consciousness. As you practice living as if your wish is already fulfilled, you may encounter resistance from your habitual thinking patterns. All doubts and fears may surface. When this happens, do not fight them or try to them away. Simply observe them without judgment and then gently return your attention to the feeling of your wishful. Think of it as training a puppy. Then the puppy wanders off. You don't scold it or punish it. You simply gently bring it back to where you want it. Be in the same way. When your mind wanders to doubt, so current circumstances that seem to contradict your desire, gently but firmly bring it back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. With practice, this new state of consciousness will become your natural way of being. You'll find yourself spontaneously thinking and acting from the state of your wish fulfilled without conscious effort. Now let me address a common misconception. Living as if your wish is already fulfilled does not mean denying your current reality or pretending that unwanted circumstances don't exist. It's not about putting on a fake smile and pretending everything is perfect when it's not. Instead, it's about seeing your current circumstances through the lens of your new assumption. If you've assumed the feeling of financial abundance, then any lack you currently experience becomes merely a passing phase, already in the process of transforming. This shift in perspective is crucial. It allows you to acknowledge your current circumstances without giving them power over your state of being. You're no longer a victim of your circumstances, but a conscious creator, knowing that your inner state is the true reality and your outer world must conform to it as you practice living from the state of your wish. You may find that your desires themselves begin to change as you experience the fulfillment and joy you thought your desire would bring. You may discover that what you really wanted wasn't the specific thing or circumstance, but the feeling state it represented. This is from realization. It liberates you from attachment to particular outcomes and opens you to even greater possibilities than you initially imagined. You become free to dance with life, to co-create with the universe in ways that surpass your limited ideas of what's possible. Remember, the ultimate goal is not to acquire things or achieve specific outcomes. The goal is to awaken to your true nature as a divine creator, to live in harmony with the creative power of the universe that expresses itself through you as you live from this awakened state. You find that manifestation comes effortless. You no longer need to struggle or strive. You simply assume the state of already being or having what you desire, and that the universe take care of the details. This is true faith, not a blind belief in something outside yourself, but an unshakable knowing of the creative power within you. It's a faith-born experience as you witness the outer world reshaping itself to match your inner assumptions. Now, I want to address something that many of you may be experiencing. As you listen to these words, you may feel a sense of excitement, of possibility, but also a twinge of fear. This fear is natural. It's the voice of your old self, resistant to change, clinging to the familiar, even if the familiar is undesirable. Recognize this fear for what it is, the time that you're on the brink of transformation. It's the trembling you feel as you step out of your comfort zone and into the realm of infinite possibility. Embrace it. Thank you for trying to protect you. And then gently but firmly choose your new assumption. Remember, you're not your thoughts, your emotions. You are the awareness behind them, the chooser of your state of being. No matter what thoughts or feelings arise, you always have the power to choose your assumption, to choose the state from which you will live. These choices, your ultimate freedom, a freedom that can never be taken from you. No external circumstance, no person, no event can dictate your inner state unless you allow it to. You are the master of your own consciousness, the author of your own experience. As you embrace this truth, as you consistently live as if your wish is already fulfilled, you'll find that your entire life transforms, not just in terms of outer circumstances, but in the quality of your moment-to-moment experience. You move through life with a deep sense of peace, knowing that all is well, that everything is working out perfectly. You'll experience a profound trust in life itself, a trust born of the knowledge that you are one with creative power. The universe, this state of being, is your birthright. It's who you really are, beneath the layers of conditioning and limiting beliefs. As you live from this stage, you become a beacon of light in the world, inspiring others to awaken to their own divine nature. Your relationships become more harmonious, filled with love and understanding. Your work becomes a joyful expression of your gifts rather than a burden. Your body responds to your new state of consciousness, aligning itself with perfect health and vitality. But remember, this transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, a journey of awakening. There will be moments when you slip back into old patterns of thought and feeling. When this happens, be gentle with yourself. Simply notice that you slipped and then choose again. Choose the assumption of your wish fulfilled. This choosing this, returning to your desired state, is the essence of the practice. It's not about getting it perfect all the time. It's about persistently choosing your assumptions. Regardless of all their appearances, as you persist in this practice, you'll find that it becomes easier and more natural. The intervals between slipping and choosing again become shorter. Eventually, living from the state of your wish fulfilled becomes your default mode. When I want to address this question that often arises, what if my wish conflicts with someone else's? And to this, I say there is no conflict in the realm of pure consciousness. Each of us is living in our own unique reality, created by our own assumptions. As you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, You're not imposing your will on others or the world. You're simply shifting to a reality where your desire is manifested. The shift harms no one and deprives no one. In fact, as you live from a state of fulfillment and joy, you become a blessing to everyone around you. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. The world you experience is a reflection of your state of consciousness by assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You're not changing anyone or anything outside yourself, you're changing yourself. And as a result, you experience a world that matches your new state of being. This understanding liberates you from any guilt or about your desires. Your only responsibility is to tend to your own garden of consciousness, to cultivate the assumptions that align with your deepest desires and your highest good. As you do this, you'll find that your desires naturally align with the good of all. For your call, you are a divine being, an expression of universal consciousness. Your true desires, stripped of ego and fear, are in harmony with the highest good of all. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next 30 days, choose one desire, one wish that you want to experience is fulfilled. It could be anything: a new job, a loving relationship, improved health, financial abundance. Once you've chosen your desire, then time each day feeling as if it's already fulfilled. Use your imagination to create a vivid, sensory-rich experience of having your wish fulfilled. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of fulfillment. But don't stop there. Carry this feeling with you throughout your day. Let it inform your thoughts, your words, your actions. Live from this state as consistently as you can when doubts arise. When your current circumstances seem to contradict your assumption, gently but firmly return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, your outer world may take time to catch up with your inner change. Trust the process. Persisting your assumption at the end of 30 days, reflect on your experience. Notice how you've changed, how your perception of your life has shifted. Pay attention to any changes in your outer circumstances, any new opportunities or synchronicities that have, but most importantly, notice how you feel. Living as if your wish is already fulfilled is not just about manifesting specific outcomes. It's about experiencing the joy, the peace, the sense of fulfillment. Right now, in this moment, you see, my dear friends, that is the ultimate secret. The feeling you seek of your desires is available to you right now. It's not dependent on outer circumstances. It's a choice you can make in this and every moment as you master the art of living as if your wish is already fulfilled. You'll discover that you already have everything you've ever wanted. For what you truly desire is not the thing itself, but the feeling state you believe it will bring you, and that feeling state, be it love, joy, peace, or abundance, is your true nature. It's who really are. The layers of conditioning and false belief. As you live from this truth, you become a living embodiment of your fulfilled wish, a radiant expression of divine consciousness in human form. So go for it, my dear friends, and live as if your wish is already fulfilled. Know that you are the operant power in your life, the author of your own experience. Trust in the creative power of your consciousness and watch in awe as your world transforms to match your inner state. Remember, you are not bound by your past, by your current circumstances, or by what others think is possible for you. You are limited only by your assumptions about yourself in the world. Change your assumptions and you change your world. You've boldly loved deeply and always assume the best, for in doing so you align yourself with the very power that creates worlds. Thank you, my dear friends, for your attention and your presence. May you go forth and live as if all your wishes are already fulfilled, for in truth they are. The kingdom of heaven is within you, waiting to be recognized and expressed, and create the life of your dreams. For you have within you the power to do so. Thank you. And may your journey be blessed with the fulfillment of your deepest desires. What is the state of consciousness that stems from a misunderstanding of your true nature when you worry? You are operating from a limited, finite sense of self. You are identifying with your physical body and your personal history, forgetting that you're not being that you truly are. But I tell you now, you are not your body. You are not your personal history. You are not even the sum of your thoughts and emotions. You are the awareness in which all these experiences arise. You are the infinite creative power of the universe, expressing itself as a human being. When you truly understand, this worry becomes impossible. For how can the infinite creative power of the universe worry about anything? How can God with you be concerned about solving a problem? Let us delve deeper into this concept. The world you see around you is not the cause of your experience, but the effect. It is the outpatient of your states of consciousness. Every circumstance in your life, every challenge you face, is a reflection of your inner world. Therefore, when you worry about a problem, you are actually giving power to that problem. You are affirming its reality in your consciousness, and thus in your experience. But when you rest in the knowledge that God, the God within you, will solve it, you are aligning yourself with the created power of the universe. This is not mere positive thinking or wishful optimism. This is a fundamental law of consciousness, just as the seed contains within it the pattern of the fully grown plant. Your consciousness contains within it the solution to every problem you could ever face. When you say God will solve it, you are not advocating responsibility or passively waiting for some external force to intervene. You are declaring your alignment with the infinite intelligence within you. You are acknowledging that the power that created the universe is fully capable of handling whatever situation you are facing. Now, some of you might be thinking, but never have real problems. How can I not worry? I understand this concern. The challenges of life can seem overwhelming when viewed from a limited perspective. But I ask you to shift your perspective. Instead of focusing on the problem, focus on the state of consciousness where the problem is already solved. This is what I mean when I say God will solve it. You are moving your attention from the problem to the solution, from the question to the answer. Imagine for a moment that your problem, whatever it may be, is already solved. How would you? What would your mental state be? This feeling, this state of consciousness, is the key to allowing God to solve your problem. You see, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are stepping into the consciousness of the version of you for whom the problem is already solved. This is not pretend, so self-deception. This is the use of your imagination, which is God in action within you. Imagination is not a separate part of you. It is the very essence of your being. It is creative power through which all things are possible. When you imagine the solution, when you feel the relief and gratitude of your problem being solved, you are literally reshaping the substance of the universe. You are setting in motion the forces that will bring about the solution in your physical reality. Now let us address a common misunderstanding about this principle. Some might think that saying God will solve it means doing nothing, simply waiting for a solution to magically appear. But this is not the case at all. When you truly align yourself with the consciousness of the solution, you will be inspired to take what I call the right action. This action will not feel like struggle or effort. It will feel natural, even inevitable. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, saying the right words, meeting the right people. This is because you are no longer operating from the limited perspective of the problem. You are from the expanded consciousness of the solution. Your actions are no longer driven by fear or worry, but by inspiration and inner guidance. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no power to create or to change. All creation happens first in consciousness. Your job is not to manipulate the outer world, but to change your inner world. As you change within, the outer must conform. Let us now explore the concept of faith in relation to God will solve it. Faith is not. Believe it's something outside of yourself. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is annoying beyond physical evidence. When you have true faith that God will solve your problem, you are not hoping for a future event. You are acknowledging a present fact. You are recognizing that in the realm of pure consciousness where all creation takes place, your problem is already solved. This kind of faith, mountains, it passes, it transforms the very fabric of your reality. For when you have absolute faith that God will solve it, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are becoming one with the solution now. Some of you might be wondering about the role of time in this process. You might be thinking, when will God solve my problem? But I tell you now, time is an illusion of the physical world. In the realm of consciousness, where all creation takes place, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled with conviction. The time it takes for this to appear in your physical reality is determined by your faith and your persistence in the assumed state. So do not concern yourself with when or how God will solve your problem. Your job is to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, to live from the end, to embody the consciousness of the solution. How and when will take care of themselves. Let us now address the concept of surrender in relation to God will solve it. Surrender is not about giving up or admitting defeat. It is about releasing your attachment to how things should be and trusting in the higher intelligence of the universe. When you truly surrender your problem to God, you are not washing your hands of it. You are acknowledging that the infinite intelligence within you, which created the universe, is fully capable of handling whatever situation you are facing you. This surrender allows you to step out of the limited perspective of the problem and into the expanded consciousness of the solution. It frees you from the burden of trying to figure everything out with your finite mind, allowing the infinite intelligence of the universe to work through you. Remember, worry is a form of negative creation. When you worry, you are using to create what you do not want. But when you surrender your problem to God, saying with conviction, God will solve it, you are using your imagination constructively. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. Now let us explore the concept of gratitude in relation to God. Solve it. Gratitude is not just a polite sentiment. It is a powerful creative force. When you are truly grateful, you are acknowledging the presence of your desire in your life. You are affirming its reality even before it manifests in the physical realm. So as you trust that God will solve your problem, cultivate a deep sense of. Be thankful not just for what you can see and touch, but for the unseen solution that is even now unfolding in your life. Give thanks for the wisdom that guides you, the love that surrounds you, and the power that resides within you. This gratitude puts you in a state of receptivity. It opens you to receive the solution that God is providing. It aligns you with the abundance of the universe. Practice gratitude, not from a place of lack hoping to receive, but from a place of fullness, knowing you already have. Let us now address the concept. The touch might seem contradictory to what we've discussed about faith and gratitude, but it's actually covenantary. The attachment doesn't mean not caring about the solution to your problem. It means releasing your anxious attachment to how or when it will manifest. When you're anxiously attached to the outcome, you're actually affirming the presence of the problem. You're saying, I need the solution because I have this problem. This state of consciousness keeps the problem alive in your experience. True detachment comes from the deep, knowing that God has already solved your problem in consciousness, and therefore it must manifest in your physical reality. It's a state of calm certainty, of knowing the law is at work even when you can't see the evidence yet. This detachment allows you to truly live the end. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're simply being who you are, a person for whom the problem is already solved. This state of being is far more powerful than any amount of doing or trying. Now let us discuss the concept of revision. Revision is a powerful tool in allowing God to solve your problems each night. Before you sleep, review the events of your day, but do not review them as they appear to your senses. Revise them to align with the state of your problem being solved. If you encounter challenges related to your problem during the day, revise them. See them as stepping stones towards the solution. if you had negative thoughts. So emotions about your problem then. See yourself responding with faith and confidence. Knowing that God is solving it, you are not denying what happened. You are actively reshaping your memory and thus your future. Remember, your memories are not fixed. They are fluid, constantly being reconstructed. By consciously revising your memories, you are literally reread. As you change your past in your imagination, you change the trajectory of your future. Let us now explore the concept of persistence. Trusting that God will solve your problem is not a one-time event. It is a continuous choice. You must persist in this state of faith and surrender even when the outer world shows no sign of change. This persistence is what distinguishes those who successfully manifest their desires from those who do not. Think of it like this. When you move to a new home, you don't wake up each morning wondering where you are. You naturally assume your new surroundings. This is how you must be with your faith that God will solve your problem. It should become your new normal, your new home state. But what if you falter? What if you find yourself stepping back into worrying doubt? Do not despair. Simply acknowledge it and return to your state of faith and surrender. Remember, you are breaking lifelong habits of thought and feeling. It takes practice. Patient with yourself, but persist. Now let us address the concept of everyone. As you pushed out, this principle states that everyone in your world is a reflection of your consciousness. The way people treat you, the opportunities that come your way, even seemingly random events in your life, or reflections of your state of being. This understanding brings with it that great responsibility. It means that if you want to experience a world where your problems are solved, you must first embody that state within yourself. As you trust that God will solve your problems, you will naturally see others differently, and they will respond differently to you. During this process of trusting God to solve your problems, be aware of how you perceive others. Our perceptions align with the reality of your problem being solved. If not, consciously choose to see others in a way that supports your faith. See them as helpful, supportive, playing their perfect part in the unfolding of solution. Remember, you are not manipulating others. You are simply aligning your perception with your desired reality, and others will naturally conform to this new perception. Let us now delve into the concept of the law assumption. This law states that if you assume a state and persist in it, it must become your reality. When you assume the state of your problem being solved, when you live from the consciousness of God will solve it, you are setting in motion the forces that will bring this assumption into your physical reality. This is not about forcing or manipulating external circumstances. It's about aligning yourself with the reality where your problem is already solved. When you truly assume this state, you're not trying to make something happen. You're experiencing the state of it already being done. Imagine you have a friend who lives in another city. When you think of this friend, you don't visualize them or affirm their existence. You simply know they exist. This is the kind of knowing you must have about to your problem. It should be as real and as natural to you as the existence of your distant friend. This state of knowing, of living from the end, is what truly activates the law of assumption. It aligns your entire being, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions with the reality of your problem being solved, and in this alignment, miracles happen. Now, let us address the role of emotion in this process. Emotion is crucial. It is the fuel that gives life to your assumption when you assume the state of your problem being solved. You must feel the reality of it. You must experience the relief, the joy, the gratitude of the solution. But here's a key point. These emotions should not be intense, or they should be natural calm, the kind of quiet joy you feel when you think of something you already possess. Remember, you not trying to convince yourself of something. You are simply acknowledging what is already true in your consciousness. Let us now explore the concept of the Sabbath. The Sabbath, in this context, is not about a particular day of the week, but about a state of mind. It is a state of complete rest from all effort. A state of knowing that your work is done in the process of allowing God to solve your problem. Sabbath state is crucial. It is the state of total acceptance of the solution as an accomplished fact. In this state, you no longer feel the need to make the solution happen because you know it is already done. Practice entering the Sabbath state. After you've done your imaginative work, after you've assumed the feeling of your problem being solved consciously and your state of rest, release all need to make it happen. And know that God is at work and your only task now is to rest in the certainty, the solution. Now let us address the concept of divine timing. Often when we are facing a problem, we want an immediate solution. We want God to solve it right now. But remember, in the realm of pure consciousness, there is no time. Your problem is already solved the moment you assume the state of the solution with conviction. The time it takes for the solution to appear in your physical reality is determined by divine timing. This is not about some external force making you wait. It's about the perfect holding of events that will bring about your solution in the most harmonious way. Trust in this divine timing. Know that the solution is already yours in consciousness and it will manifest in your physical reality at the perfect moment. Your job is not to worry about when or how, but to maintain your faith and live from the end. Let us now explore the concept of your divine nature. When I say God will solve it, I am not referring to an external deity. I am referring to the God within you, the divine created power. That is your very essence. You are not a mere human being having a spiritual experience. You are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are God individualized, the infinite creative power of the universe expressing itself as you. When you truly understand this, you realize that there is no problem too big for you to handle. There is no charge that God cannot solve because you are that God. The power that created the universe resides within you, and it is fully capable of solving whatever problem you are facing. Now let us address the concept of resistance. When you are facing a problem, it is natural to feel resistance. You want to push against the problem to fight it, to overcome it. But this resistance often keeps the problem in place. Remember, what you resist persists. When you resist a problem, you are giving it your energy and attention. You are affirming its reality in your consciousness. Instead of resisting your problem, practice acceptance. This doesn't mean you like the program or want it to continue. It means you accept that in this moment, this is what is. Then, from this place of acceptance, you can more easily shift into the consciousness of the solution. Let us now explore the concept of your inner conversations. You're in the thoughts you think and the words you speak to yourself are shaping your reality. When you're constantly thinking and talking about your problem, you're reinforcing its existence in your experience. Start paying attention to your inner conversations. Are they aligned with the state of your problem being solved? Or are they keeping you stuck in the consciousness of the problem? Practice having inner conversations that align with the solution. Speak to yourself as if your problem is already solved. Have imagined conversations with others where you discuss the wonderful resolution of your situation. These inner conversations are powerful creative forces that shape your reality. Now let us address the concept of your self-concept. Your self-concept. The way you see yourself plays a crucial role in our land. Got to solve your problems. If you see yourself as someone who is always struggling, always facing problems, that's the reality you'll create. But if you see yourself as someone who is divinely guided and supported, for whom solutions come easily, that's the reality of experience. Work on upgrading your self-concept. See yourself as someone who naturally attracts divine solutions. Any challenge. Remember, you are not changing who you are. You are simply aligning with your true divine nature, recognizing the God within you that is fully capable of solving any problem. Let us now explore the concept of forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful tool in allowing God to solve your problems. Often our problems are tied to resentments, grudges, or unforgiveness towards ourselves or others. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning hurtful behavior. It means releasing the emotional charge of past, so they no longer control you. As you forgive yourself and others, you clear the path for divine solutions to flow into your life. Practice forgiveness daily. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. Forgive others for perceived wrongs. As you do this, you'll find that solutions to your problems come more easily and naturally. Now let us delve deeper into the concept of living in the end. When you say God will solve it, you are not hoping for a future event. You are acknowledging a present fact in the realm of imagination, where all creation takes place. Your problem is already solved. Living in the end means experiencing your desire as a present fact, not a future possibility. It's about feeling the relief, the joy, the gratitude of your problem being solved right now in this moment. This state of consciousness collapses time and brings your desire into the present moment, making its manifestation inevitable. Remember, in the realm of imagination, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you assume the feeling of its fulfillment with conviction. The time it takes for this to appear in your physical reality is determined by your faith and your persistence in the assumed state. Let us now address the concept of the law of reversed effort. This law states that the harder you try to achieve something, the more you push it away. This is why so many people struggle to solve their problems. They're trying too hard, and in that effort they are actually affirming the presence of the problem. Instead of striving and struggling, relax into the knowing that God will solve it. Release all effort. You are not trying to solve the problem. You are simply acknowledging the solution that is already using consciousness. This state of effortless acceptance is far more powerful than any amount of trying or struggling. No. Let us explore the concept of the bridge of incidents. When you assume the state of your problem being solved, a series of events is set in motion to bring about the manifestation of your desire. This series of events is called the incidents. The key here is to trust the bridge. You don't need to know how God will solve your problem. Your job is simply to maintain your assumption and allow the bridge to unfold naturally. Each event, each encounter, each seeming coincidence is a part of this bridge, leading you to the full manifestation of your solved problem. Let's address the concept of dimensional shifting. This is the idea that for every possible, there is a version of you already experiencing it. Your task in allowing God to solve your problem is not to create something new, but to shift your consciousness to align with conversion of you for whom the problem is already solved. Practice speaking from the perspective of the you who has already experienced the solution. How would that version of you think? How would they feel? What decisions would they make? Align yourself with this version of you, and you will naturally shift into the reality where your problem is solved now. Let us delve into the power of your self-talk. Your self-talk is not just idle chattering your mind, it's a declaration to the universe. The way you speak to yourself about your problems and their solutions is shaping your reality. Stop paying attention to, talk. Are you constantly affirming the presence of your problem? Or are you speaking as if the solution is already yours? Choose your words consciously. Speak as if God has already solved your problem. Use phrases, I am so grateful that this situation has been resolved, instead of, hope this problem will be solved. Let us explore the concept of non-resistance once more. Non-resistance doesn't mean being passive or accepting undesirable circumstances. It means not giving your problem any more power through your resistance to it. When you fight against it, you are actually energizing it. You are giving it your attention and your emotional energy. Instead, practice non-resistance. Acknowledge the problem with our judgment. Then shift your attention to the state of the solution. Now let us address the concept of your point of power. Your point of is always in the present moment. It's not in the past. Where the problem might have originated, it's not in the future where you hope the solution will come. It's right here, right now. In this present moment, you have the power to choose your state of consciousness. You have the power to align yourself with the reality where God has already solved your problem. Use this point of power wisely. Choose thoughts, feelings, and actions that align with the solution, not the problem. Let us delve into the concept of your I am. Your I am is your true self, the God within you. It is the creative power through which all things are possible. When you say I am, you are invoking this created power. Be very careful with what you attach to your I am. I am struggling with this problem. Creates a very different reality than I am. Grateful for the divine solution to this situation. Choose your I am statements wisely. Finite are powerful created forces. Now let us explore the concept of your imagination once more. Your imagination is not mere fantasy or daydreaming. It is God in action within you. It is the creative power through which all things are made. When you use your imagination to experience the solution to your problem, you are literally reshaping the substance of the universe. You are impressing upon your subconscious mind the reality of the solution. And your subconscious mind must then work to bring this impressed image into your physical experience. Let us address the concept of detachment once again. A detachment doesn't mean not caring about the solution to your problem. It means releasing your anxious attachment to how or when it will manifest. When you're anxiously attached to the outcome, you are actually affirming the presence of the problem. You are saying, I need this solution because I have this problem. This state of consciousness keeps the problem alive in your experience. True detachment comes from the deep, knowing that God has already solved your problem in consciousness, and therefore it must manifest in your physical reality. It's a state of calm certainty of knowing the law is at work, even when you can't see the evidence yet. Explore the concept of your state of consciousness. Your state of consciousness is the sum total of your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in any given moment. It is the lens through which you perceive and interact with reality. When you say God will solve it, you are choosing to occupy a state of consciousness where the solution is already a fact. This state of consciousness then shapes your perception and your experience of reality. Remember, you are not trying to change the outer world, you are changing your state of consciousness. And as you do, the outer world must conform to match this new real state. This addressed the concept of your created power once more. You are not a powerless being at the mercy of external circumstances. You are a created being made in the image and likeness of God. The power that created the universe resides within you. When you say God will solve it, you are acknowledging this creative power within you, are aligning yourself with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates the cosmos. Trust in this power. Have faith in your ability to create the reality you desire. Let us explore the concept of your divine timing once again. Divine timing is not about some external force making you wait for your solution. It's about the perfect unfolding of events that will bring about your solution in the most harmonious way. Trust in this divine timing. Know that the solution is already yours in consciousness, and it will manifest in your physical reality at the perfect moment. Your job is not to worry about when or how, but to maintain your faith and live from the end. Let us address the concept of your inner knowing. Beyond your emotions, there is a deep inner knowing within you. This is the voice of God, the infinite intelligence that knows exactly how to solve your problem. Learn to listen to this inner knowing. It often speaks in subtle ways. A quiet nudge, a sudden inspiration, a feeling of peace. As you trust this inner knowing, you'll find yourself naturally guided towards the solution to your problem. Now let us explore the concept of your divine nature once more. You are not separate from God. You are an individualized expression of God. The power that created the universe is not outside of you. It is you. When you truly understand this, you realize that there is no problem too big for you to handle. There is no charge that God cannot solve, because you are that God. The power that created the universe resides within you, as it is fully capable of solving whatever problem you are facing. In conclusion, remember that God will solve it is not a passive statement of hope. It is a powerful declaration of your alignment with the creative forces of the universe. It is an acknowledgement of your true divine nature and your inherent ability to create the reality you desire. Trust in this truth. Have faith in the God within you live from the state of your problem being solved, and watch as your outer world reshapes itself to match your inner state, for truly, with God, all things are possible.